Can you hear me, Malar?
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can. Good morning, Malaysia.
Good morning. Malaysia went to take a nap for a while because
I
Malaysia was
noticed.
trying to
Yes,
do
yes.
something, and then last minute couldn't make it work. So Malaysia will not try and be sophisticated this morning. Malaysia will be Malaysia. Good morning, Singapore.
Good morning, Malaysia. Singapore was ahead of the curve. We were, ready. We, planned ahead, and we knew what was coming up. We have a 5-year plan in place. Good morning, Malaysia. Hi, Malar.
And I'm always so happy that you all are ahead, right? Because then we get to just chill, enjoy, and build
Joy.
relationships. What we're going to do this
Correct.
and try some new things, and then when it doesn't work out, still look fun, cool
Look,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. I envy that, right? Ability to try and experiment and fail once in a while, pick it up, and then move along. Okay, so this morning we've got Batri Abdullah, or Bob as you call him, right? Malar, and a very good friend of yours, and a friend in the making for me. And I'm going to and I'm going to no what
No, he's
no.
not a friend in the making for you. He's ours. He belongs to
Okay.
Malaysia.
No, for me, not Singapore, for
Okay.
me.
When you retire in Penang.
When I retire in Penang. Okay, so I'm going to leave it to you to introduce him, because I think you will do a better job of introducing Bob. And are we going to see the video now, or you're going to do the introduction and then we see the video after that?
I'm going to say good morning so that just in case people have turned up, like don't run away, while I show the video.
Who, like Luis, is it? Like Luis
Yeah.
Marias, is it? Yeah. Good morning, Luis.
Yeah, Luis has been missing from the screen for a bit, so he came today. I better acknowledge him, then he won't turn up next week. Luis, good morning. Thanks for coming. And who is AK Green? That's Dato Alia. Don't play, all right?
Yeah. I was going to get that. I was going to guess that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Alia. Hey, Alia says hi, Bob. So I'm going to do a very quick introduction. I knew Bob at the background for a bit, but I not friendly lah, because for some reason.
But then you're not friendly with me either. So anyway,
he was very, very biased against me. He didn't smile at me. So one day when we were taking part in an exhibition, he came up to me and gave me negative feedback. Just came up to me and said, Malar, I want to talk to you. And he gave when I say negative, very constructive negative feedback. And I was blown away by the feedback, because the feedback had a lot of information that I needed for the organization that nobody else would have told me. So immediately, so that was my first real impression with Bob when he gave me, because I always think that when people come up to you and tell you what is really, really important for your business, they truly care for you too. Because we didn't have a relationship. And of course, after that, I was going through a slump in my business. And one day I just called Badri when he was organizing tulips, and I said, I'm looking for opportunities, right? And he said, oh, okay. And the moment he had an opportunity, he called me. And that's how I accidentally got into Tulips One conference. And I will say my life changed forever. After that, I don't know whether we became friends or not, but I love this guy. So let's quickly introduce this wonderful Badri Bob.
Okay, I already know one thing about Bob. Okay, by the way, Badri and Bob is the same person, yeah? Okay, yeah.
Dual personality.
Dual personality, okay.
Badri, when he's Bob, he's Bob. But today we're going to bring both of them together.
Very good. Okay, so the one thing I already know about Badri, who's also known as Bob, is that he knows how to get your attention. Okay, at least yours, lah.
Okay, not that it's difficult, but let's introduce Badri quickly. Hey, let's watch a video. Kirtana told me, behave yourself because you're in the video.
Very good. Well done, Kirtana.
Behave yourself. Good morning, Badri Bob.
Good morning, ladies. How are you all this morning?
Good. As you can see, we've already started, and the energy is, in a certain flow and a direction, right?
Yeah, the energy seems to be coming from Singapore.
From Singapore, right?
Yeah,
I told you we are the head.
I'm wondering why our Miss Energetic Malaysia, Super Energetic Malaysia is, keeping
I used up all for my Tamil dance
I know that.
In the video, right? Yeah. I was looking at the video just now, and I was wondering, where are all the men? They're all women in that video. And then,
So we are biased.
Not we, Badri, you are biased.
You're biased.
If you really think about Bob, I think he's
right. Okay.
Because he wants to be with all the beautiful and intelligent women around. That's it.
My wife is listening in, so
But it's okay. I'm sure she gave up on you already so long ago. But never mind.
Probably,
Probably, yeah. So she knows you well enough. So
yeah, she's very.
Thank you very much. Good support, huh? But today we see she's listening, right? We'll tell her a lot more things. Now, Bob, thanks for saying yes. It was not easy to get you in here, right? And since you said the energy comes from Sharm, I'll get into a different mode. I don't have to treat you so well. So one of those reasons, it is International Women's Day week this week, right? And I really think we're very privileged to have you, Because I like the first question I want to ask you is like, what's wrong with you? You're a man, don't you know that? Why do you want to start a movement for women? All right, but before that, right? Before we talk about your dream and your aspiration and why you started to this, I think you're a feminist at heart. Otherwise, you wouldn't have, started Tulips. So tell us a little bit about how your bias towards beautiful women who surround you started.
Okay. Okay. Very good morning, and thank you very much to both Malar and Sham for inviting me to this show. Long overdue, Malar. I should have been invited much earlier. So,
That's Friday, Bob. That's coming in June.
yes, you saved it for the good date. Okay, I understand. It's truly an honor and privilege to be on the show and given this airtime. Uh, I see some of my friends here on LinkedIn. Uh, Dato Alia is here, and she's already giving me the butterflies. You know,
Shall I ask you
right?
to go?
No lah, don't ask her to go lah. Send her to some flowers lah. You know. Okay. Yeah. Let's take your question. Am I a feminist at heart? You can say that, and it has to do a little bit, if you don't mind, I give you a little bit of my history so that it sets the context for some of the conversations that may happen here now, right? So a little bit of history lah. So I actually come from a very modest family background, working class father. We lived in the estates. I had 9 sisters, one brother, so total of 11 siblings in the family. I had a mother who was high educated by standards of those years. She had already completed her senior Cambridge in the 1930s, right? My father also was a senior Cambridge guy, and having 9 sisters, there was one generation gap between my elder sister and my younger sister, 21 years, right? So if you do the maths, every 2 years you got one production coming out, one unit coming out, right? My mother was, a super factory producing children. But, um, I actually grew up not knowing my eldest sisters and brothers and my brother, because most of them were studying either abroad or they were studying in campus, um, in Malaysia, in University of Malaya. So my sister, actually, she was away from the family, studying in India to do her medicine. And when she returned back in 1969 as a doctor, she was asked to serve in Kulim, serve in Alustar. And two of my other sisters, University of Malaya graduated in 67, teachers, and my brother after that, and then 5 more sisters, and then that's one guy who suddenly appears, you know, in the scene, and that's me. You know, the stock decided to bring one more boy into the family, and then of course there's one younger sister. So all my sisters are highly educated. Uh, I've got professors in my family. I've got doctors. I got teachers, all graduates. So that is actually setting the context. My 9 sisters had an influence over me. When my In 1969, we know 1969, what happened in 1969, and post 1969, the estate where we lived, the British sold the estate, and hence my father lost his job, right? And luckily for the balance 5 or 6 children, um, my sisters, the elder sisters, were the one who were responsible in lifting up each one, giving that hand, pulling up one of sister, another sister, putting them into education, supporting our education. And that actually left a great impression upon me as to the power of you know women. At that point of time, I was already impressed, by my own sisters. They left an impression upon me. And moving forward, I was one of those from the school of hard knocks. You know, I finished my higher school certificate in 1980, and I went straight into the workforce. I worked in the bank, right? And my immediate two superiors were young women officers, right? Young women officers, bank officers, who probably were in the late 20s. And there again, that I had that opportunity to learn under them, and they threw me into the deep end. Within 2 weeks, I was put into the front line serving customers, and our bank was a cooperative bank, and we had uh, clients, customers who are from the really low income, day to day wage earners, the stevedores from Port Klang, the DBKL workers who do the night shifts. So they will come to the bank because uh, uh, we were considered a, a bank which is friendly towards the low income earners. So we were giving loans at very low interest for this category of people, and hence they will come after their work in all their sweat, in all their suit, in their boots and all that, leaving mud trails all over the office every day after work. We need to clean up the office, right? But the two women who were my immediate superiors threw me into the deep end. Say, that time I was known as Bala. Before I converted to Islam, reverted to Islam, my name was known as Bala. Bala, you go and attend. What to attend? Okay. I developed my people skills, all my skills were actually, I can attribute to these two women who set that stage for me. And something, within 2 years they put in recommendations for promotion to an officer level, right, which is just one grade below them, to an officer level, and I was promoted within 2 weeks, 2 years. Guess who gave the recommendations? These two women, right? Gave the recommendations, and I was promoted. And within another 6 months of that, by 1985, at the age of 25, I was given another promotion and sent to be a officer in charge of a branch in Temelo, in Pahang. Although it's a small branch, it was a grade C branch, but to be made an officer in charge with another grade promotion, which put me on the same grade with these two women. And I'm very thankful to them, and that actually set the entire um, uh, what you call story behind my feminism. At heart, could be attributed to my sisters, my history, my mother, which I need to really give her the most respect, and she has been instrumental because I inherited a lot of her values. She has been a very charitable person at heart, very big-hearted person. In the 1960s, our house,
That's amazing.
in the 1960s, we were feeding 21 uh, children plus children of relatives, because these other cousins, they live in an estate which is far away from Tlointan, no proper schools. So for them to get a proper education, they need to come out to the town, and so they lived with us. So feeding 20 over mouths was a great, she used to do that in something very great. Yeah.
Bob,
So
you are certified. You're biased. You're biased towards women.
And no, no,
Totally.
I think women were
Mm.
biased towards him first, So can
Oh,
you
that
imagine?
also. That
Can
yeah.
you,
let's
can you
let's
imagine?
break that bias also lah.
No, no, no. Can no, no, no. You say bias. I think I'm just thinking, right? Because I know Bob, and Bob has well, I'm not sure if it's bias, but he has he's an amazing collaborator who seem to have a purpose for some sort of equity, right? And when I say that, so he seemed to be in the space of working with women generally. That's true to lips. The other thing that I know Bob champions is education for the underprivileged, because
Mm.
one of those things that I feel a lot with Bob is UNITA, where he works, the kind of things that they've actually put in. And I only know this initiative through Bob, right? Nobody else. So Bob's heart is always with the underprivileged kids, to do what is right for the children or for the young people who come into UNITA, because there is a large group of underprivileged kids. So I think you generally have a very compassionate and kind heart, lah, Bob. Even though you don't smile at me so much, I see your compassionate and kind heart. But so let's look at. So I love the fact that you actually had a lot of practice with 9 women at home, which is what I think probably makes you a superstar among women, right? And the fact that I like the story. What are the name of your 2 superiors that you were talking about, the 2 women? Maybe we should name them.
In the
Yeah,
bank.
sure. One is Farida Delhi, and the other one is Nur Haslina.
Nur Hasina.
Yeah. So
Nice.
I understand the latest news. Farida Delhi may not be too well. Nur Haslina she from the bank, she moved to Amway. I think
Okay.
Amway, and I think she would have retired too by now.
Okay. Nice,
Mm.
nice. What I heard, what I took back from Bob is this, right? It's just amazing how Bob actually observed what happens around, and he uses that to drive him, right? He looked at the strength that women showed. He looked at what they brought in terms of, the opportunity where he felt that his talent was recognized. Because as he thanked the 2 superiors, right, and how he raised up the rank very quickly. Those days it wasn't easy. So 2 years, for young people who are listening, they might think 2 years only what, right? But no, 2 years those days was like really
A
quick.
long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very quick promotion, right? Because usually you need to wait for the people above you to
A long
vacate.
time before, to vacate before you can do it.
Position,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
it's really quick. And what I am hearing is that there's that sense of recognition of talent, which is what Bob is known for. So Bob, tell us, how did you end up starting up Tulips movement?
I need to okay. Right. So I was working in the University of Utara Malaysia at that time at the Graduate School of Business, right? And there was this need for us to increase the number of women students in our MBA and postgraduate program at DBA. So the disparity between the men and women MBA candidates or DBA candidates were very huge. The gap was huge. And at that point of time, we had a dean who was Serbian and one of the top deans who came from Nottingham. And, they are very much invested into this women, into diverse cohorts, right? And inclusive, right? So he told me, Badri, now I'm known as Badri then. Badri, your job is for you to now close this gap. I want you to get women onto our MBA programs and DBA programs. Okay? Very, very, very nice challenge. So I said, let's do something big and let's make this happen. And hence I curated this whole program known as the Big Tulip Summit. And that was a huge success. In 2018, we had the Deputy Prime Minister, who was a woman at that time, very capable woman. And and it happened that we coincidentally, that the date of that summit where she launched was also her birthday, so that was a great celebration. I think, Malar, you were there, right? Yeah, on that summit, right? Yes. And as so and remember, curating a program is great, but getting together 60 speakers of caliber, of the ability to influence other women on the floor. Putting together that 60 speakers was also my task. I took it upon me to personally call Dato Alia, Raja Azura, Nolida Asmi, Nadia Tan, Malar Willy. Hey, I'm having this summit, please come and support us, right? So Big Tulip 1.0 was a huge success. It gave the women a platform to showcase their huge talent, right? And 200 over, we had 200 participants on the Big Tulip Summit 1. By any public university standards, paying a fee of nearly 1,000 ringgit. Normally, public universities will charge only 200, 300 ringgit. We charged 1,000. We had a full house, right? And this 60 women, the show was so great that on completion of that summit, a few of them approached me and said, hey, we need a network, we need a platform for us to voice, to come together and voice and let our voices be heard. So I said, okay, let's start something going. And Tulips movement was given birth, right? And I like to give credit to a few of the pioneers behind the Tulips movement, Alia, Azura, Wendy Liu, February Yun, Ulrika, right? And they were the backbone of the Tulips movement. Then we started, okay, what do we want to do? What do we stand for? What is our purpose? What is our, who are our target audience? So all that, conversations took place, we brought in some external um, consultants, and also those already in the NGO space to also share some insights, and we were building that. They were all building blocks in place. We were very ambitious. We wanted to do a lot of things in the first year, 2019, and we did fairly well. But then again, that impression outside of the Tulips movement was we are just a group of cheerleaders. We needed to do something more impactful, right? And the people who were driving that message, into Tulips movement is, we need to do something more impactful. We need to, but the perception outside was that we are a rara movement, right? So we needed to break that perception. And 2020 was the year that we wanted to do a lot of things, but then the pandemic hit us, and we pivoted to the online space. And when we pivoted to the online space, gave us an opportunity to create a lot of collaborations, bring a lot of speakers onto the virtual platform, and we started, rolling out a lot of activities, and which had created positive takeaways. I won't say created great outcomes, but at least there were, takeaways that were positive. And yeah, did somebody say anything? No. So to come out with 32 activities in that 1 year, I think I have to salute all the team members in the Tulips movement who put together that whole 32 activities. And yeah, we slowly established a name that people started taking notice of, that this is a movement that that has a mission, and the mission was slowly appearing, right? Then 2021 again. So 2021, I thought that most of our council members were either consultants or trainers, entrepreneurs. Let's give them some time to recover from that pandemic of 2020, right? There was false alarm that things are getting better, and before we went into lockdown again, right? So that year was a year for us to look inwards, how to strengthen the organization. So I said, let's not focus too much on activities. Let's get our story right. Let's get the whole structure right, and what we intend to push out and the kind of impact that we want to create. Let's take that 1 year. So 2021, we only rolled out 9 activities, right? We could have done much more, but they are all volunteers who sits on the council. All our Tulips committee members are all volunteers, right? So the volunteers, we need to also take care of them, because it's also they need to take care of their bread and butter. They got families, right? So give them the time to go back, into training, consulting, to at least recover or bounce back from the pandemic. Towards the end of 2021, I told them 2022 is going to be a year where you must be outcome driven, results focused, right? And there needs to be outcomes, and these outcomes need to be measured. If you want to create an impact, let's do it properly, right? So I set in place a lot of collaborations, bringing in a lot of good, strong organizations who are very much invested into women empowerment, right? Think people like LinkedIn, people like KPJ Healthcare, and many other organizations invested into women empowerment, and hence we have built that in Talent Corp, right? Talent Corp is one of the biggest supporters. We built that collaboration so that 2022 will be the year that we start to roll out impactful, meaningful, and transformational learning experiences. So basically, this is where we are today.
Great. Very nice. I think I'm just drawing on what Malar said when she introduced you, that you're able to pick out elements and give constructive feedback. And I think that's one of your superpowers. Your superpowers is that you're able to draw from each person what that person's superpower is, their strength, and get all the other superpowers together and get them collaborating and moving in one direction. Because I know, and I'm speaking from my perspective as a woman, we can be a bit of a handful. And that's an understatement.
So,
and I'm very, very mildly, right?
Can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Sorry?
Can I respond to that?
Yes,
yeah, so I've come across.
Hold on. Yeah, I just want to say hello to Tuen Leong, who just joined us. Hello, welcome. Yes, it's early, I know, but that's why you get Bob like this, very energetic. So, and you get the best out of people before they start their morning. So,
Yeah.
welcome to the show. Yes, Bob, over to you. Your
Yeah.
response to that.
Responding to what you just mentioned, I may have come across as a very harsh leader. My comments can be misunderstood, right?
Mm.
Basically, within the movement, I've been misunderstood sometimes. The intent could be misunderstood, but I think most of them have settled down, and they now understand the manner and the way I work. And this year I decided to step down from being the chairperson of the Tulips movement and hand the reins over to Fazila Yusuf, uh, to take the movement forward with the
Mm.
existing team that we have got, with existing leads that who are still with us, and she has to drive that. She's got a mission. She's got her goals. She's got everything set out for her. In this year, she needs to achieve quite a couple of things. So she needs all the support from the team members, and
Mm.
we, you know, it's so tulips can only because it's a platform. It's a platform for you, Malar. It's a platform from Sham, platform for the any woman or male or man, sorry, to come and share their experiences, right? It's a platform for them to come and because we have built 4 pillars. That is the tulips connect, tulips inspire, tulips grow, and tulips um, connect, inspire, see, grow. You see, I'm saying onwards,
School.
tulips converge,
Onward.
right?
Words.
There's
Okay.
four. There are 4 pillars, right, in the tulips movement. So each pillar,
Has its.
it's got its own what we call that audience that they're supposed to look after, and what they're supposed to do under each pillar. So
Mm.
the tulips grow is the one where we do a lot of the professional development, and as well as probably a little bit of capacity building, right,
Mm.
which we are really not fully into that yet. So what I did was last year I told the tulips movement ladies, I'm going to take the tulips grow pillar and move it out of the women empowerment space, and then establish a career experiential learning school. So it's known as a
Mm.
tulip career XP school, right?
Mm.
That will drive all the transformational learning experiences. The 3 other pillars will remain under the movement, and all the kind of activities related to empowering women will be left to the tulips movement to run. I will lead the school.
Mm.
So for the next 2 years or so, I will lead the school, put up the whole structure, and ensure that we really cater to the audience that we originally said that we will serve, which is the youth, the caregivers and frontliners, the women coming from challenge backgrounds, right, as well as the young executives. So we got 4,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you
So the
about
4.
that.
That's the target
Yeah.
audience. So that will be parked under the school, and the kind of initiatives and programs to either to upskill them, reskill, or to any other capacity building programs will be all under the Tulips XP School, and it's still a work in progress. It should be launched by June. So, but we have already established that strong partners who will
Yeah.
come in and support the school,
Mm.
right? So we have got the content ready. We have got licenses provided by Go One, which is a Netflix of courses. So the Netflix of courses, the marketplace, So Go One had given us 300 licenses free. If you monetize that license, each license is valued at 400 ringgit. So 120,000 ringgit donation in the form of licenses came out from Go One, right?
Nice,
And
brilliant. Yeah.
yes, so Go One is a platform that has LinkedIn and is owned by Microsoft. A lot of people do not know that. It's got Coursera, it's got LinkedIn, it's got Skillsoft. All the courses are sitting on this platform, right?
Mm.
125,000 courses.
So sounds like you have married your purpose for equity in women for women and equity for education,
Correct.
right? And you brought them together, or rather, you started off with the equity of women, and then you pulled out something from Tulips, and that's addressing your purpose around equity in education, and that's something also very close to my heart. Um, I, for one, feel that if any community, let alone a country, needs to develop, it's the education that's going to give the basis for them to leap from where they are, and move to the next direction. So
So,
it's amazing how you married the two.
so we did not have a sustainable model for Tulips because it was volunteered. Everything was coming from our own
Mm,
pocket. Everything
mm,
was coming from our own pockets. There was no funding. So 2 years of
mm,
activities were like, we used to have charged programs, but that is really nothing much that you make out of the charged programs. But
correct.
at least it keeps you going. But uh, operational expenses needs to be taken care of, right?
Mm,
Right? And there was no real sustainable model. So if you want that long-term sustainability, you need
mhm.
to have a business model that can sustain that kind of
Correct.
activities, to drive those kind of activities, and also to fund the deserving communities, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
there needs to be a model so that school will hence become the revenue generation arm for the movement.
Yes, yeah. And that's why I was saying earlier on, Badri, you have a knack of seeing things beyond the obvious. And you have a knack of pulling out things from people that's beyond the obvious as well, which is why, Mala didn't like you in the initially, and then you went and told her what
No,
you
no,
told her, and
he
then she
didn't
liked
like
you.
Malar, not Malar.
Ah,
Everybody likes
no,
Malar, but Bob took a long time to like Malar.
that's why it was very upsetting for her, because everybody likes Malar, right? And then somebody didn't like Malar in the first instance,
Them,
right? But
yeah,
you were looking at Malar and saying, what can I do with this one?
one
You know,
anyway.
the,
Yeah,
the
Bob.
best part, the best side of Malar actually came after the Tulip Summit.
Okay.
I can safely say this because Malar, I've seen you grow after the Tulip Summit. Your confidence. You're taking on a lot of talk shows, the ability to converse with, have conversations with leaders up there. At different and very high levels. To write down to people, write down, right? So it's. I've seen you grow. I've seen you bloom into whom you are today. And I would like to say, I don't like to say, I don't want to give credit to myself. I don't normally speak about myself, but I've got this innate talent of discovering talents.
Exactly.
I've got that
Exactly.
innate ability of discovering talents and giving them the opportunities to showcase their talents, to unlock, to unleash their potential. Give them the platform, throw them. So because I was given that opportunity, and
Correct.
and I'm always looking at the younger generation, the younger ones. That they've got so much of talent. You know, one particular uh, speaker at the Tulip Summit 2 in Penang. She was about 23 years old when she was, no, 22 years old. I threw her on stage in front of 250 senior leaders, participants, and she had them on the floor, dancing with her. So that you must be able to give opportunities when you see that,
Spark.
you've got to spark them. You got to ignite the spark, right? And spark them, right? And most importantly is to to offer them first a safe environment for them to to come and showcase their talents, right? Just don't go and throw them, some.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so give them the opportunity. So tulips, movement is that safe environment for people to come there and to start showcasing their talents, right?
No.
And I'm so happy to see uh
I'm
no.
sorry,
Okay.
I laugh at this because
Yeah.
Alia says no need to interview La Bob, just announce the principals of the new school. So Alia has said she's the new principal and Azura is the vice principal. So, but it's basically the point she was trying to make.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I know you're
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
there
Yeah.
needs, what Alia and Azura are doing at Akrab Resources, it's fantastic. So
true,
then the collaborations will come in when we are ready with the product, right?
sure,
And we start talking to people like Akrab, start talking to people like Hearts and Minds, start talking to people like, uh, image creator, to all these people out there and said,
nice, nice.
because if it's going to be a school with a funded model,
Mm,
then we will give them the opportunities to take that blocks, teaching blocks, and pay them what as they are, because
nice,
you're going to go for funding.
Mm.
Go for
yeah,
funding, pay them the appropriate. Let
nice.
them use that revenue for them to grow their own organizations.
Very
Correct.
nice, very nice.
Very
So,
nice.
Bob,
Yep.
thanks for taking us through. I mean, I am just taking note of time. Otherwise, Singapore will come after me, because we Malaysians are more
I've got the
flexible.
whole day for you, Malar.
I
I
know.
just got started. I just
We
got
are
started.
Malaysians. We are Malaysians. We are flexible, but Singaporeans are very tight with time. So I want to, because we are in the show, we need to respect that because the Singaporean will growl at me. Okay, so Bob, so it's really,
So,
really,
plain to
I
say.
think like what you say, we just got into it. And thanks so much. It was very nice. I think in the 45 minutes where we were able to understand you. How you actually. It seemed like you're a feminist, but I think it's not about feminism or it's not biased
Mm.
towards women, but I think you're
Mm.
biased towards the underprivileged to bring about break the bias against them, to bring about equity, equality, and talent, show of talent. So basically, what you're doing is that you're creating equity so that we all have equal opportunity to live our best lives in whatever space, and you're doing
Mm.
that through your advocacy for education, because through education then people get a fair opportunity, right? That's what I have. And we all know you're a powerful collaborator. You get all the
Yes.
powerful people to come and work together, right? And that you have shown not just in UNITA but UUM, and of course with tulips and all the other movements that I'm very sure you're going to start. And we probably have to get you back at other points to talk about your other collaboration and your other dreams, right? So Shami,
Mm.
last question you want to ask Bob before we let him go and before we let you?
No. I think we've covered
I'm,
it.
I'm,
And
I'm so
like you said,
disappointed that you don't have the questions for me. Oh my God.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, we
you
will
answered most of it in your explanation earlier.
yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
because I'm watching the time. We promised 8:45, so it's almost 8:50 now. Bob, just one last thing, right? So if we talk about your work in Tulips Movement, founder, and your aspiration for a fair opportunity for everybody, basically, so especially whoever falls under the underprivileged group, right? It
Yeah.
can be bias
The
where we have
underserved, the underprivileged, the
underserved. Yeah.
marginalized. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
what would be your one thing that you want to tell the audience who are listening to you, especially those in leadership position, as to how they can serve these group better?
Talent. Yeah.
Come again. Come. Sorry, I didn't get
One,
that.
what is that one message you would like to leave for leaders who would be listening in later about how to serve the underserved or underprivileged better
I
in the
think it's
region?
all about not being self-centered, right? It's
Mm,
all about having this mindset of uh, there's the giving back. Like,
mm,
some some point of life, we need to appreciate and value all the things that have contributed to our own personal success. Who were behind that personal success? Who
nice.
is behind that success story, right?
Mm,
Who actually pushed you, inspired you, motivated you, so that you can achieve where you are today. And that needs to be, to be, I'm a bit short of lost in words, but that needs to be shown or demonstrated in authentic ways.
mm,
You know, you want to be giving back. You want to serve. You want to serve the community. Authenticity is the number one. You cannot come across and say I want to do work for the B40 community, but when you go to the PPR, you are not going to help them. Just take the broom and just sweep a bit, and you have to get your hands dirty. You get to get your legs dirty. You want to do community service, do it wholeheartedly, not by just giving money. I've done my part, I'm giving money. So a lot of people think that, I've donated something to a cause, I've done good. Yes, that is only half of it. The other half is to go down and really inspire, motivate, and
nice. Nice. So
lift
three
them
things,
up.
Bob, I'm taking back from you. One is, connect the dots by looking at the past and see how you can serve back the community, which is what you have shown
Yes.
in your stories.
Yeah.
So you are actually saying, walk the talk. So be authentic, be real if you want to serve, and when you serve, act on it and be a good role model. Act on it not as to stage acting, but be real when you are present. So
Take
you know
action.
yeah. So thank you very much, Bob.
I couldn't have said it any better. Thank you, Malar.
Yeah.
So that's why I need you always, to be to
I'm
be by
glad
my
you
side.
need me always. We're gonna say bye to Sham before we say bye to you, Sham.
Thank
I
you,
know you
Sham.
were
Thank
just saying
you.
Yeah,
bye.
you're most welcome. Bye
Thank you to
bye. Lovely
everyone who's
meeting,
listening. Thank
listening
you to
to
everyone
you.
who's listening in. I hope the sharing has been a little bit
She's gone
insightful.
already. So humanity is not just charity, says Alia. So Bob, thank you very much. I'm very sure we'll be having a few more sessions with you in time to come. I'll be having you in my Friday session. I want to really thank you for speaking from your heart. I think we got to see another side of you. With that, thank you. You have a good day, and we'll
Thank you
be
so
goodbye.
much, Malar, and thank you to all the audience out there. Thank you to Alia, who's been
Okay.
always supportive. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Bye, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Now, with that, for those who've joined us, thank you very much. We really appreciate you waking up so early in the morning and joining us and encouraging us. We've listened to Bob today. Next week, we'll bring in another corporate leader who will actually talk to us, about Break the Bias, not just about Women's Day, but really how we all need to do our part to look at the biases around us, break it, and look at how, as leaders, we can influence the space we occupy. So, with that, thank you very much. Oh, yeah, Azura says, one man with a great heart, Brother Badri. That's true. So, with that, thank you very much. Continue to have a great celebration, which was initiated by International Women's Day. But we all know it's a start, and it's not just about women, it's about every one of us, what it means to be human and to have an equal opportunity. Signing off, this is Malar from Hearts and Minds Development Center. See you next week, same time. Well, hopefully, same place. Bye.